So for the next part, so now you can shoot something, you can shoot a capsule, and now you can shoot a character. Well, I'm going to try and do this video, it's hopefully quite a short video. If I go back to the Unity game, so what I'm going to try to do now is have not only an animated character, but one that when it sees you will actually start trying to attack you. So that was the character we had before. Now if I look at this one, see, so it actually senses that you're near and then starts to attack you. So it's all part of like an animation. So as you go away, it comes closer to you. So, but as you go away, it kind of the skeleton kind of loses interest. But you can sort of sneak up on it if you come from this angle. Now a lot of what I'm doing is basically based on this bit, and the code that I've got with this is just based on another tutorial that I've found. I've sort of done a few of them, but it's actually quite fairly easy to do, really. If you've done animations, which you hopefully, well, you would have done this already. So it's actually just a basic animation controller. So what we've got, if I close these down, that's the skeleton. Now what I've done, again, I'm doing it this way just simply because it's worked for me. So what I've done is just done a game object capsule and called it skeleton. Okay, and if I turn, okay, it looks like that, and then I turn the mesh render off. Then I'll download this one, Fantasy Monster Skeleton. This one has got animations with it. It's got a death one as well. So when you kill it, you can then do damage and death. So you can then add bits onto it. At the moment, if I fire at the skeleton, then the skeleton will just disappear. But that's what, you know, that would be the next thing to build up on. But basically, you download that into Unity, and you get this one, Fantasy Monster. So you click on skeleton. This character. Okay, make sure you do character. That's skeleton at skin, and just drag that onto your stage. What I then did was put the capsule, like I did before, put the capsule on top of the skeleton. Okay, dragged it on top, and then unticked mesh renderer. Now, on that skeleton, okay, so on the actual skeleton itself, I then put some code, which is follow. Now this code, which is here, it will be underneath this video. If you did the tutorials earlier to do with animation, hopefully this will start looking a bit more familiar about this anim set ball. So hopefully you understand that there's an animation controller somewhere. Okay, so look, static anim, and this one here. So like I did a while back now, if you could create animation controller, but before you do that, just make sure you click on assets, because it's best to, or even just make a new folder, but just make sure you know where you're creating things. So you do create animation controller, and then you have this. Okay, now I've already put these, I've already put this in. So what you would be doing, and I just wanted to show it complete this time, rather than sort of just build it up. So then you get an idea about what you should end up with. So you should end up with this. So entry is just when the game or animation plays, it will go straight to idle mode. That's why it's in orange. And then if certain conditions are true, it will either walk or it will go to attack mode. So on the downloaded, so you've created your animation controller. So if I come back to scene, and I've got skeleton here, you click on skeleton at skin. What you then do is drag that animation controller onto here, so you've actually got some way of controlling the animations. So so yours will be blank at the moment, it won't have anything on it. But if you go back to Fantasy Monster, Skeleton, Annie, that's your animations, and drag attack, walk, and idle. Drag those three on, and then you right click, say on idle, do make transition, drag onto walk, click on walk, do make transition and drag it back. Okay, and do the same. So you just, right click, make transition, so it looks like this. Now, on all of these, when they're connected, the first thing to do is to click on it and make sure you untick that has exit time. I went over this on some of the earlier videos when we did animations, but so all of these, okay, that should be unticked. And I think with this one, it's best to get it working and then play around with it, actually then see what happens when you tick it. Okay, but for the moment, if we just get it working, and then you can sort of play around with the effects or the different options after. So okay, so your blocks look like this. Okay, basically almost like a flow chart. What you now need to do is go up to parameters, click on plus, it'll bool. Okay, bool for boolean. So you click on that and you make 3: is walking, is attacking, and is idle. It would be easier if it was spelled exactly like this, small I, big W, because then it will match the code. So if I come back here, look, is walking, is attacking, so that's matched with that. Okay. Right. Now if I'm going to click on idle, actually the other thing I'm going to do, actually go to Annie, I'm going to click on attack and then go to animations and come down and just tick loop time. That means the animation will loop round. So you need to do that for attack, for walk. So again, oh, go away. I don't know what happened then. I'll just click apply. Okay, so then a walk, make sure that loops, and idle, make sure that loops. So that means that the idle animation or the attack animation won't just play once and then stop. It will keep going round and round and round. The other thing is, right, if you say this out loud, you're idle. If you want to start walking, what you do is you set this condition, is walking is true. Okay, so you would click there and you do is walking is true. I'm going to just get rid of that one. Okay, for this one here, you do is idle is true. Because basically if you want the skeleton to be idle, to go back to the idle state, you have to say is idle is true. So on this one here, this should be is attack is true. This one would be is idle is true. Okay, for walk, if you're going to attack, it means is attacking is true. If you're on the attack mode, this one there is walking is true. So that's kind of what this bit of code is doing. You're basically saying if certain conditions happen or certain conditions are met, then you want to attack. And that would be, if I come back to the code here, if you find where is attacking is true, then it's this little bit of code here. If the distance is greater, if the distance between you, this code here, follow, is on the skeleton. So the difference, if the distance between the skeleton and the player is greater than 5, okay, then you don't want it to start attacking, okay, but else you do want it to start attacking. So if it's greater than 5, don't attack. If it's less than 5, then you want it to start attacking. This is not necessarily going to be the best explanation for a tutorial, but it's really just to get it started and then for you to just kind of look at the code after. Now, so this code is underneath the video. This one is called follow. Okay, so what you would need to do is, okay, click on, so you go back to your assets folder, click create and do C# and create a new C# script like that. Okay, and then you just copy, and to open it up, and then just copy the text file or the file that is underneath this video that's called follow. So that will be there. When that's run, what you do, when it's compiled, so you just compile it, you go back to Unity, and if you click on the skeleton now, this is where you have this script. The player, this is the one that the skeleton is going to follow or going to try to attack. So it's important that you just drag the FPS controller onto that, because this first person controller is you. Okay, so you need to tell the skeleton what player, who is it you're going to follow. So that's once your follow code, your C# code is compiled, you do that. Probably the bit that's going to be it's going to take longest is here. Another thing, just remember that when an animation or game loads, you need it to be in an idle state, so that's why you would tick that. And I think really that would pretty much be it, other than the weapon. Okay, so this weapon code here, this is where what we were using before to actually, if you fire at something, it disappears. So what you'd need to do is make another public game object skeleton. Okay, so another game object, just call it skeleton. And then you come down and basically in your fire code here, so if you hit something, if that thing that you hit is called skeleton, then you want to destroy the game object called skeleton. Now this here is that skeleton. The reason that is there is because it matches the capsule, okay, skeleton. So you're basically destroying that capsule, and because the skeleton is a child of that capsule, then the skeleton also disappears. But then the other thing is just this weapon script is on your FPS AK-47 script. Just make sure that new public variable that you've made, skeleton, you do actually also drag that onto it. Okay, so you're dragging the capsule, so you're making sure that the code knows that that's the one to destroy. And so really your changes are to the weapon code, which is just literally that bit of code there, and that bit of code there. You're taking this code, which is underneath this video as a text file, and you're just copying that into a new C# script called follow, and then you're downloading the skeleton, which is here. First, skeleton stuff, which is here, fantasy monster. Okay, so you just remember, you click on these ones, make sure they loop around. Okay, there. Walk and idle, do the same. Make sure the animations keep loading. And it's this bit here which would probably take most of the time to actually set up. But if you looking at the clock here, just under 2 minutes. But as long as you've got these bits here. So if you think about it, that arrow is walking is true. If this statement is walking is true, then you're going to want the skeleton to walk. So if we click on these ones here, they should both say is idle true. Okay, yep, is idle true. And that is matching this bit of code here. Basically this code is just detecting where you are, which is the player object, and this is the angle of the view that the skeleton can see. This is the distance you are from it. And this bit here is whether is the skeleton just going to walk towards you, okay, which it will do when it sees you, but as soon as it gets close, then it's going to start attacking, and that's what this bit here is. Okay, so first off, it walks towards you, okay, and then as it gets close, it then starts attacking you. So in later videos, you would have then health and death. At the moment, if you fire at the skeleton will just disappear. So I'm just quickly flipped to game mode, and now what should happen if I fire at the skeleton? Okay, I don't know, I just glitched it. I just played the game. So basically, if everything works, if I fire at the skeleton, now it's field of view, so it's coming towards me, attacking. And I think, oops, that's it. There you go, disappears. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.